This might be a controversial take, but SEO is not that important. It makes a difference for sure, but great SEO alone is never going to get you sales. When I've actually seen bestseller after bestseller on Etsy over the years that actually arguably have terrible SEO. I've sold thousands of products on Etsy in the last couple of years, and I never spend more than 10 minutes doing the SEO for my listings. And you don't actually need any research tools if you don't want to even do your SEO. Because fun fact, I actually sold $500,000 in revenue on Etsy before I even used my first research tool. Etsy already has everything you need. So in this episode of Talk Shop Tuesday, where I take your questions down from the comments below every week and make a video answering them for you. So make sure to put your questions down in the comments below for a chance to get featured on a future Talk Shop Tuesday. So today we're going to be answering Linda's question. She watched last week's video where I showed my efficient listing method so that you can get 50 new listings up in your Etsy store every single week leading up to the holidays to really crush your Q4 holiday goals on Etsy. And I'll link that video down in the description or link it for you to watch up next after this one. But Linda asked on that video in the comments, my problem is coming up with keywords for the title and tags, including the research for them. Can you show how to do that part quickly? So in this episode, I'll share my method for quick and great Etsy SEO so that you can get your listings up quickly and efficiently without all the overthinking. Before we dive into my SEO tips, I do need to mention this new article from Etsy that was released on August 22nd on their new guidelines for listing titles. So taking a look at this article, and I will put this article in the description below, Etsy's sharing that they want clearer, shorter titles. But this is not new. Etsy's been sending out stuff kind of like this for the last few years, wanting us to use kind of shorter, clearer titles. They're saying that they're getting feedback from buyers that they like shorter, clearer titles. So I'll scroll down and show you some examples. Instead of these long ones that use all 140 character titles, they're saying we should include shorter titles like this, like 100% personalized cotton dad t-shirt, custom kids names, small through extra large. And what they're saying that they're going to actually change in the system is that our system has evolved to take a more holistic view of your listings, including title, tags, attributes, descriptions, first photo, and even reviews to help connect your items with the right buyers. This means that while your title is still an important part of your listing and can impact both search results and buyer conversions, it doesn't need to do all of the work. You can focus on clarity and relevance in your listing titles while moving other key details to listing tags, descriptions, and attributes. So first thing I have to say after reading that article is don't panic. I actually don't recommend going and changing all of your old listings to change and update those titles. Nowhere in that article did Etsy say that you have to make these changes, that they won't show you in search if you don't make these changes. What I'm really getting from this article is that they'd like you to have shorter, more concise titles, but now they're just putting a little bit more emphasis on actually using the search results to see what your first photo is, to see what your description is, your tags are, and your attributes. And so what I'm taking away from this article is until I see the proof in the pudding that a bunch of listings are bestsellers with these shorter titles, I'm going to make sure that I just really hit the mark when it comes to my first photo, my tags, my description, and my attributes, so that if Etsy isn't really reading all those titles in my long 140 character titles, then I will still be seen because I'm hitting the mark on those other pieces of the equation. But I'll let you know and keep you updated if I see any big changes to lots of bestsellers having these shorter titles, because my philosophy with Etsy is that the proof that you need of what works is always right on Etsy already. And right now, all of the top sellers, best-selling listings, for the most part, have 140 character titles and all 13 tags filled out. So for now, that's what I'm going to be sticking to still. So diving right into step one to great SEO is to make sure that you're listing for an item that has proven demand. Ideally, you want to be designing for a niche that is selling really well today on Etsy or is about to be selling really well in the next 2 to 3 months. And you know that because it sold really well at that time last year. This isn't really a research video, but it is really important to make sure that you're not making designs for things that you just want to sell on Etsy. The whole benefit to selling on Etsy is that they are advertising to millions of shoppers, and that shoppers are coming to Etsy every single day, searching things and then buying them. So your whole mission needs to be find out what people are searching on Etsy and buying today, or in the next 2 to 3 months, and make products that add value for that niche. Ideally, to come up with great SEO, there should be at least 2 to 3 listings with a bestseller badge in that niche for your product. Coming over here to Etsy, let's say the product that you made a design for is an engagement candle. What you do is in search engagement candle, and if you don't want to use any SEO tools, then you would sort the search results by bestseller. The way that you do that is you click the all filters button, you'll scroll down and click the star seller box and click show results, and then in the URL, you will delete the word star and add the word best. This is just a workaround that Etsy took away this filter, but you can still use it, which is great. And now we can see all listings that have bestseller badges that are in this particular niche. So step number 2 is finding 3 listings that have a bestseller badge that match the product type that we're making a design for. There are just 2 rules to follow when you're finding the 3 listings to use for your SEO research. The first rule is not to click on any ads. So see how this is ad by Etsy seller under these listings? We don't want to be clicking on those. That is a common courtesy. The second rule is that the listings you use for the SEO inspiration should be relevant to your product. So if mine is a custom names engagement candle, then I'm probably not going to be using this custom dog engagement candle for my SEO reference because mine doesn't have anything to do with dogs. I like to use just a really simple text app like the text edit app on my Mac, but you could use any notes app to make your SEO in. So I have a document and I just write title and I'll copy and paste the 3 titles, and then I'll write tags and I'll copy and paste all the tags underneath here, and then we'll come up with our own SEO. Copying the title of a product is super easy, but the tags are another story. Etsy is really trying to hide the tags that sellers are using. You can scroll to the bottom of their listing and look at explore related searches, and sometimes these are going to be the exact tags that they're using, but other times not, because some of these are longer than 20 characters. So if you don't want to use any SEO tools, you can feel free to copy and paste these into your document or write them down. Or this is one of those really convenient times to have a research tool like Everbee. Everbee is not a must-have, but it does save a ton of time because when looking at a listing like this, I can click the Analyze Listing button with the Everbee Chrome extension and scroll down, and here I can see all 13 of their tags and just click this copy button right here. So then using Everbee, you can just paste your tags into your document and move on to the next product. So again, not a must-have, but it does save a ton of time. Everbee does have some other really cool features like being able to sort the search results and find listings that are selling really well on Etsy right now so much faster. So I will link a special promotion that I have for Everbee down in the description if you're interested. Now that we've got our 3 titles and our 3 tags copy and pasted into our notes app, there are just 3 things that you should consider when making your SEO. Number 1 is using the most important keyword first. So if you're selling an engagement candle, that's probably what's going to be the first part of your title. If it's a personalized engagement candle, you probably include the word personalized. So we're going for kind of the most generic, basic, top thing that the majority of people would search for when looking for a product like yours. Number 2 is if someone typed in those keywords, would you actually be what they're looking for? So for example, on an engagement candle, I'm not going to be putting gift for her because not every person that is a woman that someone wants to buy a present for is just newly engaged. And so too many people are going to see that in the listings when they search gift for her, not click it, and then Etsy's going to know you're not relevant and stop showing you as much anyways. So reserve really general terms like gift for her for super general products, like just a personalized name on a cup would be a perfect example of gift for her, would make sense in that SEO. So make sure that if someone typed in the keywords, you're actually what that person would want to buy. And then number 3 is to make sure to check your trademarks. If you've never checked trademarks before, I will link a full tutorial down in the description. But let's go ahead and get started. So I've got our titles and tags. So I'm going to make a new spot that says title, and then I'm going to copy and paste any parts of the titles that I pulled from bestsellers and make my own based off of what my design actually needs. So we're not copying anyone's SEO, but we are looking at proven keywords. So we know people are searching these keywords and purchasing them because these sellers have a bestseller badge. So try not to overthink it, honestly. So I'm going to start with personalized engagement candle, because in my example, mine is. So I think that is the most important keyword first. And then after that, I think putting something like funny gifts is too generic. Wedding candle, I'd say, is too generic. Personalized candle, maybe not. Probably wouldn't put bachelorette party or funny candles. But custom engagement gift, I think that's great. So again, we're going for the ones that really make the most sense for our product. So then looking here, a bride-to-be gift, I think that is a great option if mine is just custom names, right? And you're doing commas in between. That is really one of the best ways. Future misses, I think that's a great option. So here's a good example. I wouldn't put "he hit the jackpot" in my title unless my candle actually said that. Because even if people are searching for it, if that's not what ours says, then it's not going to be relevant. If someone types in "he hit the jackpot" on Etsy, then that's the design that they're looking for. Looking down at the tags for some inspiration, I like custom wedding gift. I think that's a really good example. I do like the first letters to be capitalized though. And then newly engaged gift. I think that is a really interesting keyword. So let's see, our tags, our title can be 140 characters. So I'm going to copy and paste this into Etsy and see how I'm looking. So I'm 125 out of 40. And so let's add a little bit more to our title. I think bride wedding gift could be an interesting one as well. Since we've got bride-to-be gift, I think that's a little bit of a different spin on it. So now let's copy and paste that in and see how long our title is. And it looks like that is 140 characters. So that's when I might actually delete the last word gift. And now I've got a full 140 character title: personalized engagement candle, custom engagement gift, bride-to-be gift, future misses, custom wedding gift, newly engaged gift, and bride wedding. So I think this is a really good title that gets a lot of really great keywords in there. And now let's build a quick 13 tags. So pulling on this and typing tags, this is going to be my tag section. So I think engaged gift makes sense. Engagement candle, custom engagement, newly engaged gift. And it's okay if you're repeating some in the titles and tags, especially based on what we said earlier, where we're going to be trying to really figure out what is working in this new Etsy environment. I'm going to grab bride-to-be gift, gift for engagement. I'll also grab engagement gift since we had engaged gift. I think that's worth having an extra one. Let's go with wedding candle. Maybe even bachelorette gift. I think that could be an interesting one. Let's grab personalized wedding. Let's grab bridal shower gift. So that's just anything that makes sense. And I think we need 2 more. I think friend engagement is a great one. And future Mrs. gift. So we're not overthinking it. We're just grabbing tags that make sense for our product, and we are going to paste those into the tag section to make sure that it all fits well. Paste that here, and yep, that looks perfect. Those all fit great. And the very last thing that you need for your SEO is to include a couple sentences about your product in the top of your description. So if you want, you can look at all the keywords that you've used and come up with a saying yourself. Like, this candle would be a perfect gift for your best friend or your sister when they get engaged, to give them as a wedding gift or at an engagement party. You can kind of make it up yourself. Or if you really like using AI, like something like ChatGPT, so you could paste in your title and tags that you want to use, and then you could write something like, create me a 3-sentence description for an engagement candle that I'm selling on Etsy that has personalized names and the personalized wedding date on it. Please include some of the keywords I have above. You can even go above above and beyond and say something like, and make it funny. So like, let's see what we get if we say, and make it funny, and click enter, and you can see what they come up with for you. So this one says, celebrate their I said yes moment with this personalized engagement candle, customized with the couple's names and wedding dates that can officially light up their newly engaged life. Whether you need a bride-to-be gift, future Mrs. gift, or a custom wedding gift that doubles as a funny, practice for all those unity candles. This one is perfect. It makes a sweet and slightly sassy engagement gift, bridal shower, or bachelorette gift that will have everyone laughing while it burns bright. So if that makes sense for yours, then what you'll do is you'll copy and paste this and put it at the top of your description for that product. And this is what Etsy says they're also pulling from to figure out if your item is the perfect fit for someone when they're searching in the Etsy search algorithm. And lastly, should you be using low competition, high search volume keywords only for your listings? So if you're not familiar, there's keyword tools like eRank, and even Everbee shows you different competition versus volume. And I'd say not necessarily. I really don't overthink keywords for my listings, and I never have. And you might think, okay, 40,000 competition for a future Mrs. gift, I'm never gonna get seen, but I see brand new listings getting bestsellers in these high competition niches all the time, so I wouldn't necessarily avoid them. The way that I use the information for low competition, high search volume keywords is I make designs for those niches. I don't necessarily do my SEO based off of that, since if you really do your research, most bestsellers are using these really high competition keywords, even from brand new stores. So don't shy away from the high competition niches and the high competition keywords, because that's where a lot of the money is to be made. You really do have a shot of getting sales, since Etsy does boost brand new listings in keyword searches like that when you first list them. But obviously you have to make sure that you're adding value with your designs and making great designs that stand out and don't just copy what other people are doing. Because again, SEO is only going to help so much. You have to be doing the other things right in your business as well. So don't overthink SEO, just get your listings up there and test until you find what works for you. I hope you loved this episode of Talk Shop Tuesdays, and it helps you make SEO so much faster and easier. And if you ever want more support from me, then you can always join my private community, the POD Roadmap, which I'll have linked down below. In that community, we actually do a live SEO workshop with Coach Sam every single month. So if you need more help with that, we've got you. Every month we have a Coach Dion, one of my past students, who does live shop reviews every month, so you can learn from what other sellers are doing right and doing wrong. We do live monthly masterclasses on different topics and monthly Q&A sessions, along with my course and my private community where you can ask me questions each and every day. So if you're interested, I'll link that down below as well. And if you made it here all the way until the end of the video and you thought this was helpful, then put SEO down in the comments below so I know that you made it all the way till the end of the video. And don't forget to put your questions in the comments if you want a chance to be featured on the next episode of Talk Shop Tuesdays.